Welcome back. The Youth Entrepreneurs Expo is taking place at Wits University next week from the 5th of July, in fact. The event is hosted by the Young African Entrepreneurs Institute.
Well, it will give the youth a chance to showcase their businesses and also help them to attract investment. To tell us more about this, we're joined now by Risuna Maluleke from the Institute. Risuna, thank you so much for your time this morning. I think one thing's for sure. We keep speaking about how we need to empower young people, whether it's through institutions such as the National Youth Development Agency or institutions such as a small business development department as well. We speak about it, but I wonder, and according to your perspective, are we doing enough to advocate for and encourage young businesses and youth-owned businesses in this country?
Yes, thank you very much, Faith, and greetings to your viewers at home. I think there is some work that is being done, and I believe that it's not about whether it's entirely what has to be done, but it's just a matter of we just need to do more. We just need to keep on moving in the right directions. I think what is more important is for us to create entrepreneurial ecosystems than to just have everyone operate in isolation, because I think there are so many organizations that are trying to do the work that has to be done.
Yeah.
So I believe that there is work that is being done, but not all is lost. We just have to come together and develop these entrepreneurial ecosystems for us to achieve the objectives.
Risuna, is the stagnation, because it would be fair to say there's been stagnation in youth entrepreneurship development, is the stagnation largely because there's not enough being done by those who want to start and grow a business, or perhaps those who have the power to help? I would say government, the small business ministry.
No, I think it's very difficult for one to actually start a business given the context of our country. We cannot just say rhetorically that young people must wake up in the morning and start businesses. You just walk out, even if you're a university graduate, you walk out of university and then you don't even have money, to just buy your own bed because you're staying at rest for all the time, and then now someone tells you that you need to get started with a business. It's a luxurious undertaking, So therefore, that's why we need the interventions from all the spheres of our economic structure. That is both corporate, and then also looking into government to say that how do we come together to ensure that we develop a platform, we develop an ecosystem that is going to be enabling in terms of developing entrepreneurial youth who are going to drive social measurable economic impact in our society.
Yeah, you speak about how we need to be able to build that entrepreneurial ecosystem, but the truth of the matter is entrepreneurial ecosystems cannot exist outside of, number one, governments being able to give opportunities and preferential procurement to youth-owned businesses who have got the merit to get there, not just the cadres that are their friends, right? On the other side of it, you need to be able to have, first of all, to even register a business in this country is expensive, right? It's not something that comes in very cheaply, unlike countries such as Rwanda, where you can literally get access to it very quickly. Here in this country, you have to stand in long queues, then you have to pay an exorbitant amount of money just to even have your business registered. That itself is a hindrance to starting. Then we're looking at access to even markets, right? And those markets, a lot of the time, they're owned by, what can we say, former privileged businesses, right? Yeah. Minority groups are owning business in South Africa, which means that it challenges the young innovator from being able to get in access and being able to get through those doors. How does a young person, with all those realities mentioned, actually get through the door and actually make a success out of their businesses?
I think, Faith, just maybe to add on to what you're saying, and just maybe to put a bit of an adjustment. It is actually now becoming much more easier, for someone to get started with a business. I think with CIPC, there's this other biz portal where you can just get to register your business, I think it's just in a day or 48 hours or something like that. So as I'm saying that there is work that is being done, perhaps what is the gap is that the access to the information. That is to say that there's a person sitting in my village where I come from, Gove village. Do they know that actually you can be able to register a business, just for 175 rand in just a day? So this is why actually we then come up with the expo to say that let us bring people from different spaces so that we just get to address and have access to information about a lot of things. But also just to enter with all those realities, yes, I must agree with you that it is difficult actually just for a young person to then get started, because it is not only just about registering a business, you understand. You can register a business and then you're going to shelf it,
registration.
And it goes towards the registration because there's nothing that you are doing. But also in terms of preferential procurement that you're speaking about, to say that, okay, I think in terms of even access to markets and funding, I don't think entirely what we are looking for as young people is just to say, splash money on us. What we are looking for, it's opportunities, because we have the capacity, we have the capabilities, as you are mentioning, that there are those with merit, you understand, that are running legit businesses. What they are looking for is access to those markets through government procurement. I mean, also a private sector procurement. The government is one of the biggest spenders, in our country. Therefore, if we're to channel our energies towards developing businesses that are sustainable, that are making measurable socio-economic impact, then it will help us go a long way as an economy.
Risuna, what is the Institute hoping to achieve with the Expo? Because I imagine the ultimate goal is successful youth entrepreneurship development.
Yes.
You're wanting to start something that will be sustainable, that will grow into something bigger for South Africa and particularly for the economy. But what exactly, as you kick it off on the 5th of July, are you hoping to achieve with this Expo?
Okay, so the Expo basically is going to be a platform. It's a 5-day jam-packed experience which seeks to draw young people from different spheres. That is to give them an opportunity to, one, exhibit their products. I mean, people can just come through, and see what young people are doing in terms of their businesses. Particularly on the Saturday, we will be having a festival, of exhibition. And then number 2, it is also to help and develop young professionals, to give that opportunity for young professionals, and early stage career people to say it does not end only just maybe on the other side, but you can also be able, to start a business, but also to attract students, to say that how do we develop an entrepreneurial mindset of a student at university level, and also just in basic education, and also looking at TVET colleges and all spheres of education. And then the other part then is also to enhance their innovative abilities through a competition that will be running for students and unemployed graduates, through the Expo. So the Expo seeks to draw that, and then in terms of its entirety, and then at the end of the day, we then want to be able to attract investment towards youth entrepreneurship, and then we also want to be able to create a platform where young people can network and try and explore synergies, because we're saying we're creating or developing an entrepreneurial ecosystem. That is to say, you don't have to wait for an older business to give you business. You can actually start something among yourselves. If I have juice that I'm manufacturing from Guyana, I am able then to say through a logistics company that is, around there of a young person and say, please, I need you to send this to Johannesburg and whatever the case may be. So how do these young people get to meet and get to know one another and be able to try and explore synergies, and also just to try and attract other people from different spaces, your ESD, managers, of different corporate companies, CEOs and executives, which are actually going to be speakers, and people from government that are also going to be speaking at the Expo, to say that hear us out, here we are. You are saying that it is difficult to find young people who are running businesses and so on. But we are saying that we have the young people, more than 500 of them are actually in this particular room. And therefore, what do we do? What next?
Yeah, as you're speaking about this, it's such a close topic to my heart, because you cannot sit with an unemployment rate where it's expanded, it's sitting over 70% where young people are concerned. And we think that it can be business as usual in this country without something happening. Young people are very passionate. If their energy is not focused at a specific place, where they're going to implode ultimately, right? And we need to be able to locate those spaces where they are able then to express themselves and find means of making money, right? And I just wonder, when it comes to even the language as well, and pitching, because they always say that in order for you to be able to sell your business, unfortunately, what has happened is that young people have got great ideas. They are innovative. They are doing amazing things. Where they lag behind sometimes is the language to sell the business. It's what we would call the pitching aspect of it. And they fall short, not because of the great ideas, but because they simply don't know how to sell themselves. So how does a young person position themselves so that a venture capitalist or an investor can spot them and say, actually, I want to, invest in you? Because the truth of the matter is, and you know this, people don't invest in business plans. People invest in people.
Yeah.
Right? I like who you are. I like what you represent, so therefore I'm going to invest in you. So given the nature of how business even works in any context, how do we then position ourselves for greatness?
I think, yes, I must agree with you that there's the notion, of young people having ideas and so on. And I don't really believe much more in ideas per se, as you're saying. I believe more in people, because ideas change, They change, they vary in terms of context. I mean, an idea that I can have, a technological idea that I can have here in Johannesburg might not be relevant when I get home, in my village, depending on the context of the people there. Then the Expo also is going to give an opportunity through masterclasses that are going to be run throughout the week to try and position the young people just like for these kind of things. Because we're looking also to bridge the entrepreneurial education gap that exists, as you are mentioning, to say that how do we get a young person to understand the concepts, of fundamentals of entrepreneurship, basically, you understand, to just like, what does it mean to be an entrepreneur, so that we just like build it from there. And then also until we get to a point whereby we are now able to say that this is how you set up a pitch deck, this is a business model canvas, this is a problem solution fit canvas, and so on. So we are going to be having masterclasses that are going to be run by your academic people as well as experts, in different subject matters. Other lecturers are going to be coming from the Wits Business School, who are giving their time, and availing themselves to say that we are here. And these are incredible people that are making impact, in the entrepreneurial space, such as Dr. Jabulile Galawe, who are going to be there and giving all these masterclasses throughout the day. And then later in the evening, then we have stage talks where we're just like going to be having dialogues and engagements.
Risuna, we're going to have to leave it there with you, but thank you so much for helping us. And hopefully this is something that galvanizes youth that may not be involved in the upcoming expo to want to be involved the following year, and maybe even just want to wake up and do something, even though there are those, challenges, those realities that Faith had listed among the many that there are out there. But thank you so much just for coming in and helping us unpack what it is that we're said to be expecting. Of course, that is Risuna Maluleke, who is from the Young African Entrepreneur Institute, of course. And just speaking about Entrepreneurship Expo that is coming up from the 5th to the 9th of July. And Faith, I mean, like things like these you would hope galvanize.
100%.
But if
100%.
If they don't, you can understand why, because it's really not easy, as Risuna had said, to just wake up one day and think, you know what, I'm going to start a business. It really is not that easy.